going on, Jerome's raw, real audio rant? If only there was some sort of name for talking sports in audio format only. Yeah. Anyways, 11 days till the NFL draft, and a lot of consternation has been going on. Well, defensive line. Well, cornerback. Well, safety. Well, tight end. Well, wide receiver. Yeah. Everything is all well and good, but I've sort of gotten away from this. But we got to bring back the love and feeling because O-line. Now, going like 3 levels deep on this, JJ McCarthy, quarterback 1 of the Vikings, his college coach, Jumpin' Jim Harbaugh, who's got it better than us? Nobody. Won national title, all that stuff. And Michigan, during his time there, besides Connor Stallions, they were always heavily recruiting offensive line. And when Harbaugh got to the Chargers, he went on a lengthy harangue about how the offensive line improves the entire team. Because offensive line, if you're good up front, you can run the ball, you protect the quarterback, you control the clock, you control the game, you can do everything. And keeping your defense on the sideline rested and also potentially giving them a double-digit lead where they can play downhill and the opposing offense gets a pass script, everything gets easier, right? Also, if you have a good offensive line and a deep offensive line, your special teams, notably your field goal unit, is going to be very solid as well. So it really does affect the entire team. So basically, long story longer, even though the Vikings don't have a ton of draft picks, they have a first-round pick, 24, 97, the comp pick in the third. They have a 5th and a 6th. That's it. That's it. Now, the Vikings could certainly trade down from 24, get some more draft capital. The Vikings also could use their projected future comps and move up in the draft this year, right? Using their own picks of where the projected pick is going to be. You know, 3rd round, 4th round, 3rd round, 5th round. Now, I think what it comes down to is that the Vikings offensive line, Kwesi's done a fantastic job this year. Basically, Kevin O'Connell took a look at this team and said, hey, where are we deficient? Interior offensive line, 1-1-1. All makes sense, right? And Kevin O'Connell, after the Rams debacle, where slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, was sacked 9 times, he pointed out specifically the Vikings have to get better on the interior offensive line, and they did. Releasing Garrett Bradbury, 6 years as a starter, it was finally time. Finally. Ed Ingram got traded to the Texans. I can't believe we still got a draft pick for Ed Ingram, which essentially they used to trade for Jordan Mason, which is just great. Signed up Ryan Kelly, very solid veteran center, still has some good tread left on the tires, and also was a huge part of landing the number 1 free agent guard this offseason in Will Fries, who had multiple suitors, multiple teams interested in his services. Vikings got him because of Ryan Kelly, right? And now you have options at left guard. Assuming that Will Fry stays at right guard, which it seems like that's what's going to be going down. But Blake Brandel, incumbent starter last year, did not fare well. Now, Brandel was fine and, frankly, pretty damn good when Darrisaw was healthy. But there's a very stark split between Brandel with Darrisaw and Brandel with Cam Robinson. Just sort of is what it is, right? And I've said this before. I do believe in Walter Rouse, potentially reducing inside, last year's 6th-round pick out of Stanford/Oklahoma. Also, Michael Juergens, it puts the lotion on the skin and also gets the hose again. So he could potentially be the future starting center. Also, he could get himself into the left guard derby. But basically, the bottom line is that the Vikings have to come away from this draft with a guard with the potential to start. Now, it doesn't have to be the starter because the Vikings could draft a projected starting guard and Walter Rouse or Brandel or Juergens end up winning the job, right? That's perfectly fine. Competition, depth, that's the name of the game, right? Meow. And in the draft, basically all options are on the table in terms of who's going to be available in this class of projecting inside the guard. So the standard ones, Gray Zabel, NDSU left tackle, played a lot of guard at the Senior Bowl, even some center. Tyler Booker from Alabama. Now, Booker's a little bit of a departure of scheme fit, much more of a man gap, immovable object type guard. And then you have Donovan Jackson from the Ohio State University, perfectly well versed in outside zone. And also the Vikings have had meetings with 3 day 2 tackles that potentially could kick inside the guard, notably Jonas Savaiinaea from Arizona, Marcus Bowe from Purdue. So there's a lot of very interesting things going on there. Right. Also, you take a look at a tackle like Calvin Banks, who could be there at 24. Frankly, I think he should go higher. I think that the Bears should take him at 10 and have him be their starting left tackle for 10 years, but that's beside the point. All right. He could, if Banks is there at 24, draft him, reduce him inside the guard, and just go from there. Right. But also, you look at who could be available around the 3rd round pick. If the Vikings have to move, so be it. Tate Ratledge from Georgia is an absolute physical freak, 3-year starter at right guard. I don't understand why he hasn't gotten more loved in the draft process. Or it could be a spot where the draft experts, prognosticators, and analysts, they're down on him, but maybe the league is pretty high on him. I mean, frankly, it wouldn't shock me at all if Ratledge ends up being a first-round pick, because all it takes is one team. And there's a very flat talent plateau, we'll say, between about picks 15 and 70, right? Also, Chuck Grant from Bill and Marion. Is that Bill and Mary over there? So another, he's not 280. He's 311. But he's one of those small school, very athletic left tackles that looks to kick inside the guard. That's a huge jump in competition. Miles Frazier from LSU is actually really damn good, except people get too caught up in scout the player, not the helmet. A lot of people don't want Malachi Starks just because, Lewis Cine was a guard from Georgia. Miles Frazier not only is a guard from LSU, like Ed Ingram, he also wore Ed Ingram's number 70 in college too, which is kind of funny. Dylan Fairchild, the other Georgia guard. Luke Kandra, a supersized rogue rating guard. Jackson Slater, Clay Webb. Also, you look at Wyatt Milliam, West Virginia left tackle, kick inside the guard. So there's lots of options. And I think the Vikings should spend either their first or second selection. Now, I'm not saying specifically first or third, because I think the Vikings can move around, but their top 2 selections in this draft, I think one of them should be someone who's capable of starting a guard. Because it's like the Infinity Stones. We're just missing that last one. And the offensive line, taking care of JJ McCarthy, making sure that you're able to run the ball with Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, everything else stems from the offensive line up front. And I think that there is a cognizance about what the Vikings want to do. And I think that Kwesi definitely took it to heart. Hey, we're going to improve this interior offensive line. And also, now the Vikings have the means, despite a lack of draft picks, as well as the opportunity. A number of these players are going to be available at 24 or in the range in the 3rd round with the Vikings drafting, to select one of them. Hell, maybe multiple. Don't even care at this point. Just get dudes along the offensive line that you feel comfortable starting, and put your best 5 out there. And you can draft one, and Brandel could still win it. Walter Rouse, Michael Juergens, whoever. Just get JJ McCarthy an absolute FU offensive line in front of him, where you can run the ball efficiently, where play action is viable, and JJ McCarthy is protected. Because it seems like the number one thing that causes a highly drafted quarterback to bust is getting the absolute tar beaten out of him with a bad offensive line. That really seems to be it. Because if you think about it, if you're given time and protection, like any Tom, Dick, and Harry quarterback can look pretty good. But if you're getting pummeled over and over and over and over again, not only are you not able to put up numbers, move the ball, put up points, have your team have success, I feel like with every single hit, that confidence just wanes just a little bit, right? And at a certain point, you're just done. You're seeing ghosts in the pocket. You're unable to have the confidence. It literally just got beaten out of you, right? So having a superior offensive line in front of J.J. McCarthy and trying to do it with draft picks as opposed to just open free agency. Hey, Kelly and Fries needed it, but having in-house options is the way to go. Right, so come away in the 1st round or 3rd round or wherever you end up drafting. Top 2 selections, one of them has to be an offensive lineman that you feel comfortable starting a guard day one. It's what the Vikings absolutely need to do early on in this draft. But that's it. Take a look at the Vikings need to draft a guard. We're back at it. We're back at it, man. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo adoption fundraiser this month. But that's it. You guys know what to do. Skol. Oh, look, some production value.